We've been talking for this whole episode about the police and about the possibility of police misusing their powers or abusing their powers. And of course, that comes in the context of two things which have happened in London just this week. One, we have a new Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, Sir Mark Rowley, who has to deal with all the legacy of his predecessor, Cressida Dick, which many people would say was a checkered legacy, particularly about how the police had handled protest, among other things. But just putting that into the harshest perspective as well, we had the killing last week of Chris Kaba, a young, unarmed black man on the streets of Streatham Hill in South London. And now the Commissioner is going to have to respond to that. The officer in question, the Metropolitan Police officer in question, we were told last night has been suspended, but it is just another reminder of how deep the issues of trust are,
right,
certainly between certain communities and the Metropolitan Police and policing overall.
I think it's really interesting that the Met Assistant Commissioner, Amanda Pearson, has actually said publicly that the decision to suspend the officer was taken, she says, after careful consideration, including the significant impact on public confidence. So they are supremely aware right now of the fractious relations that exist or can exist between groups within different communities, whether it is the black community she's talking about here, whether it's women and their trust over the Sarah Everard. They have an enormous task ahead of them, and to single out a few people with blank sheets of paper, probably not where they really want to end up.
Although a family friend of Chris Kaba last night was saying that as far as they were concerned, they didn't understand why it had taken so long to suspend the officer in question. So
yes, I mean, look, the police are acutely conscious of the sensitivities here, given the history in South London, given Brixton in the past, given previous social unrest, that these sort of things can have a profound effect, and confidence and trust can evaporate incredibly quickly, and building up relations is very slow and tortuous. And I think that this is a huge test, and that were it not for what is unfolding in Britain with this historic moment of the about to be the funeral of Her Majesty the Queen, I suspect we would be talking a great deal more about what happened in Streatham Hill last week and the repercussions of it.
I think we will be over the coming weeks as well.
The Newsagents. This is a Global Player original podcast.